Hey everyone, Elizabeth here. The Last Laugh delivers stories that leave you speechless. If you're here for it, hit subscribe and let's go. I should have known something was wrong when Mom called me 3 times in one afternoon. She never called unless she needed something, and lately, something always meant money. Maya, sweetheart, we need to talk about Rachel's wedding, Mom said, her voice dripping with that particular sweetness she reserved for asking favors. I was in my apartment in Seattle, reviewing contracts for my tech consulting firm. The company I'd built from nothing now had 17 employees and revenue that would make my family's head spin, not that they knew. To them, I was still Maya the computer girl who played with websites and lived alone because I was too picky. What about it? I asked, already knowing where this was headed. Well, the venue needs a deposit, and you know how tight things are right now. Rachel's wedding is in 6 weeks, and we just need to borrow your credit card for the deposit. Dad's bonus. The same mythical bonus they'd been promising for 3 years. Mom, I don't think. Maya, please. This is your sister's special day. You make good money with your little computer job. This is nothing for you. Rachel only gets married once. My little computer job had generated $340,000 in revenue last year alone, but I'd learned years ago that correcting them only made things worse. Let me think about it, I said. There's no time to think. The venue needs an answer by tomorrow. Don't you want your sister to be happy? 24 hours later, I'd given her my credit card information for a $5,000 deposit. It was easier than listening to the guilt trips. I told myself it was a one-time thing, set a credit alert on my phone, and went back to work. That was my first mistake. The alerts started coming 2 weeks later. Charge, $3,200, Bella's Bridal Boutique. Charge, $1,800, Premier Catering Services. Charge, $4,500, Luxe Floral Design. I called Mom immediately. She answered on the 5th ring, sounding distracted. Oh, Maya, perfect timing. We're at the florist. Rachel wants to add peonies to the centerpieces. They're only $800 more. Mom, you said $5,000 for the deposit. My card just got charged another $3,200 at a bridal shop. Well, yes, the dress. Maya, you can't expect Rachel to get married in something cheap. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. My jaw clenched. You didn't ask me. We're family. We shouldn't have to ask. Besides, you're doing so well with your website thing. When are you getting a real career, by the way? Rachel's fiancé Brad is a dental hygienist. Very respectable. Brad lived in his parents' basement and had been between opportunities for 8 months. But pointing that out would make me the villain. Mom, I need you to stop using my card. Of course, sweetheart. This is the last thing, I promise. Well, except for the catering balance. And the photographer. Oh, and the DJ. But that's it. I should have cancelled the card right then. Instead, I told myself it would be easier to just let them finish and deal with it later. I could afford it, technically. My business account had healthy reserves, and I'd just signed 2 new corporate clients. That was my second mistake. Over the next 4 weeks, the charges kept coming. Every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Charge, $2,100, Lakeside Manor venue, balance. Charge, $1,650, premium open bar package. Charge, $890, custom wedding cake. Charge, $3,400, photography and videography. Charge, $1,200, string quartet. Charge, $2,800, chair covers and linens. I tracked every single one in a spreadsheet. When I'd asked Rachel about being a bridesmaid, she'd laughed. Maya, no offense, but the photos need to look good. All my bridesmaids are size 4 or smaller. You'd stand out. Plus, you don't really fit the aesthetic. But you can totally come as a guest. I was a size 10. I ran marathons. But to Rachel, I was the heavy sister who needed to be hidden. The Thursday before the wedding, Mom called again. Maya, tiny problem. The venue needs the final payment, but Dad's bonus got delayed again. Can we just use your card for the last $8,000? We'll definitely pay you back next month. Mom, you've already charged $47,000 to my card. Silence. Then, well, weddings are expensive, Maya. If you had a husband, you'd understand. This is what family does. Rachel would do it for you. Rachel wouldn't give me a glass of water if I was dying of thirst, but I didn't say that. I need you to start paying this back, I said firmly. Of course. Right after the wedding. Now, about that $8,000. I said no. For the first time in years, I actually said no. Mom's voice turned cold. Fine. I'll tell Rachel her wedding is ruined because her selfish sister won't help family. I'm sure she'll remember this when you need something. She hung up. I sat there staring at my phone, hands shaking. Then I did something I should have done weeks ago. I called the Lakeside Manor venue directly. Good afternoon, Lakeside Manor, this is Jennifer speaking. Hi, Jennifer. My name is Maya Taylor, and I believe my family is using my credit card for a wedding there this Saturday. Oh, yes. The Mason wedding. Lovely family. Can I help you with something? Can you tell me the total charges on my card? I heard typing. Let me see, the final total came to $47,320. All paid in full as of this morning. Is there a problem? My vision blurred. They'd charged the final $8,000 anyway. They'd used my card without permission after I explicitly said no. Actually, I said slowly, an idea forming, I need to verify something. Who owns the Lakeside Manor property? That would be the Hartwell Family Trust. They've owned this estate for 40 years. Beautiful property, isn't it? It is. And just to confirm, if there were any issues with payment, who would the venue manager contact? Well, if cards were declined or there were authorization issues, we'd need to speak with whoever holds the financial responsibility. In this case, that appears to be you, Ms. Taylor, since all charges are on your card. I smiled for the first time in weeks. Thank you, Jennifer. That's very helpful. I'll see you Saturday. I spent Friday making phone calls. Very specific phone calls. First, to my credit card company. I need to report unauthorized charges totaling $42,320. The representative was sympathetic. We can certainly open a dispute, Ms. Taylor. The $5,000 you authorized will remain, but we'll block any future charges and flag the remaining amount pending investigation. Perfect. Can you ensure those blocks are active by tomorrow afternoon, around 3 p.m.? Absolutely. Is there a specific reason for the timing? Let's just say I want to be there when they try to run any additional charges. Second call, to my lawyer, David Chen, who handled my business contracts. David, hypothetically, if someone used my credit card for $42,000 without permission, what are we looking at legally? Credit card fraud. Identity theft. I told him. Everything. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment. Come to the wedding tomorrow. Don't make a scene. But if you need me there, I can be there in 20 minutes. Just text me. Thank you. Third call, to my best friend and former roommate, Simone, who happened to be an investigative journalist. Girl, they did what? Simone's voice was outraged. I'm coming to this wedding. I want to see this. You don't have to. Maya, shut up. I'm coming. Someone needs to have your back, and clearly your family isn't it. Saturday arrived with perfect weather. 72 degrees, clear skies, light breeze. The universe was being ironic. Lakeside Manor was stunning, all white columns, manicured gardens, and a massive tent overlooking the water. My $47,320 had bought quite the spectacle. I arrived exactly on time, wearing a designer dress I'd bought specifically for this occasion. Deep emerald green, perfectly tailored, with heels that brought me to 6 feet tall. I looked successful, powerful, and completely unbothered. Simone met me in the parking lot, looking like she was ready for battle in a sharp burgundy suit. You ready for this? She asked. More than ready. The ceremony was beautiful. Rachel looked gorgeous in her $3,200 dress, crying perfect tears as she married Brad in front of 150 guests. Mom dabbed at her eyes with a handkerchief. Dad looked uncomfortable in his rented tux. No one acknowledged me during the family photos. I wasn't asked to join a single shot. The reception started at 4 p.m. in the massive tent. My $1,650 open bar was flowing freely. The $890 cake sat on display like a white tower. The $1,200 string quartet played softly in the background. I was seated at table 12, in the back, next to second cousins I'd met twice. Simone had charmed her way to a seat beside me. This is incredible, Simone whispered, gesturing at the ice sculpture, another $600 I discovered. All on your dime, and they put you in Siberia. Just wait, I said calmly. During cocktail hour, I overheard Rachel talking to a group of her friends near the bar. God, the planning was such a nightmare, Rachel said, laughing. But thank God for Maya's credit card. She makes all this money doing whatever computer stuff, and she's so pathetic and desperate for us to like her that she'll pay for anything. We basically got a free wedding. Her friends laughed. My hand tightened around my wine glass, but I didn't move. Rachel, that's genius, one friend said. My sister would never. Maya's always been the doormat of the family, Rachel continued. No husband, no life, just her sad little job. At least her money's good for something. Brad and I are going to Hawaii for 2 weeks on the honeymoon, all on her card, obviously. She'll never even say anything. Simone grabbed my arm. Maya, I swear to God. Not yet, I whispered. Timing is everything. Dinner was served at 6 p.m. At 7:15 p.m., exactly as planned, Jennifer, the venue manager, appeared in the tent entrance, looking flustered. She scanned the crowd, spotted me, and started walking toward the head table where Mom, Dad, Rachel, and Brad sat glowing with happiness. I stood up and walked toward them at the same time. Simone followed, phone already recording. "Excuse me," Jennifer said loudly enough to cut through the music. "I need to speak with the Mason family immediately. We have a significant problem." The DJ lowered the music. Conversation stopped. Everyone turned to look. Mom stood up, looking confused. "What kind of problem? Everything is beautiful." Jennifer's face was professional but strained. "All the credit cards we have on file have been declined. All of them. We attempted to process the final bar service charge and the late-night snack station setup, but every single card was rejected." Rachel's face went pale. "That's impossible. Run them again." "We've run them multiple times, Mrs. Mason. Or, I should say, Mrs. Cooper now. They're all declined. Do you have another method of payment?" Dad stepped forward. "There must be a mistake. We paid everything." "Actually," I said, my voice carrying across the now silent tent, "you didn't pay anything." "I did." All eyes turned to me. Mom's face flushed. "Maya, not now." "Yes, now." I looked at Jennifer. "The cards are declining because I reported $42,000 in unauthorized charges to my credit card company yesterday. The only amount I authorized was the initial $5,000 deposit." Rachel's mouth fell open. "You what?" "I gave permission for $5,000. You charged $47,320. Without asking. After I explicitly told you to stop." I pulled out my phone and started reading from my spreadsheet. $3,200 for a dress. $1,650 for an open bar. $890 for a cake. $2,400 for a DJ. Should I continue? The tent was absolutely silent except for the sound of the water lapping at the shore. Brad stood up, his face red. "You're ruining our wedding." "No," I said calmly. "You ruined it when you committed credit card fraud." "Fraud?" Mom shrieked. "We're family. You gave us the card. For $5,000. For a deposit. Not for a $47,000 wedding without my knowledge or consent. That's called theft, Mom." Jennifer cleared her throat. "I'm going to need someone to settle this $3,800 balance immediately, or I'll have to shut down the bar and cancel the remaining services, including the late-night food station and the send-off sparklers." Rachel turned on me, tears streaming down her face, completely ruining her professional makeup. $450, also on my card. "How could you do this to me? This is my wedding day." "I didn't do anything to you," I said. "You did this to yourself. You stole from me. You mocked me. You put me at a back table at a wedding I paid for. You told your friends I was a pathetic doormat who you were using for free money." Rachel's face went from pale to gray. She'd forgotten I was in the tent during that conversation. I didn't mean." "Yes, you did. You absolutely did." I turned to Jennifer. "The property records show I'm the only one with authorized access to make payments here, correct?" Jennifer looked confused but checked her tablet. "Well, all the charges ran on your credit card, Ms. Taylor, so technically, yes. You're the primary financial contact for this event." "Perfect. Then I'm authorizing you to shut down all remaining services effective immediately. No more bar service. No late-night food. No sparklers. Nothing." "Maya, no." Mom lunged toward me, but Dad grabbed her arm. Rachel was full-on sobbing now. Please, Maya. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Please don't ruin my wedding." "I'm not ruining anything. You have two choices: someone pays the outstanding $3,800 right now, plus the $42,000 you stole from me, or the party ends. Your call." Brad pulled out his wallet. "I have $87. Dad checked his pockets. "I've got maybe $200. Rachel's voice cracked. "Maya, we don't have that kind of money. You know we don't. Please. I'm begging you. I'll pay you back. I promise. Every cent. Like you promised the first time? And the second? And the third?" Mom tried a different approach, her voice turning sweet. "Maya, honey, we can work this out. We're family. Family forgives each other. Don't you love your sister?" I looked at Rachel, who had called me too fat for her wedding photos. At Mom, who had called my career a little computer job. At Dad, who hadn't defended me once. At Brad, who was filming this on his phone like it was entertainment. "I do love my family," I said quietly. "That's why this hurts so much. But I don't like you very much right now. And I'm done being your ATM." Jennifer shifted uncomfortably. "I really need a decision. Other guests are trying to order drinks." Simone stepped forward, still recording everything. "For what it's worth, I'm a journalist, and this is all being documented. Credit card fraud over $10,000 is a felony in the state. Just FYI. Rachel's sobs turned to hyperventilating. Several bridesmaids rushed over to support her, shooting me hateful looks. "You're a monster," one of them hissed at me. "No," I said. "I'm just done being used." An elderly woman at a nearby table stood up, Aunt Margaret, Mom's older sister whom everyone was terrified of. "Eleanor," she said sharply to my mother, "is what Maya saying true? Did you steal from her?" Mom's face crumpled. "We didn't steal. We borrowed." "Without asking? That's stealing." Aunt Margaret looked at me with something like respect. "Good for you, Maya. Someone in this family finally grew a backbone." That seemed to break something. Other relatives started murmuring. I heard phrases like that, "S awful," and "I can't believe they did that," and "poor Maya." Rachel grabbed my arm, her perfectly manicured nails, another $85, digging into my skin. "Please. I'm your sister. I'll do anything. Just please don't ruin this day." I gently removed her hand. "You already ruined it. You ruined it when you decided my money mattered more than my feelings. When you made me a joke. When you excluded me from everything except the bill. I'll pay you back." Rachel screamed. "Every penny. I swear." "With what money? You're unemployed. Brad's unemployed. Mom and Dad are broke. Where exactly is this money coming from?" Silence. Jennifer spoke up again, clearly done with this drama. "I need a decision in the next 2 minutes, or I'm shutting it all down and calling the police to escort everyone out. This is a private venue, and we have policies." Brad suddenly stepped forward, trying to look tough. "You know what? Screw you, Maya. You're just jealous because Rachel's beautiful and happy and you're a lonely cat lady with no life. Yeah, we used your card. So what? You owed us." "I owed you." My voice was ice. "For what, exactly?" "For being part of this family. For everything Mom and Dad did for you growing up." "You mean the family that forgot my birthday 3 years in a row? The parents who didn't come to my college graduation because Rachel had a hair appointment? That family?" Dad finally spoke, his voice gruff. "Maya, you're making a scene." "I'm making a scene? I'm making a scene?" I laughed, and it sounded harsh even to my own ears. "You stole $42,000 from me, and I'm the one making a scene?" "We raised you." Mom shouted. "You owe us." "I don't owe you a damn thing. I'm 32 years old. I built a business from nothing. I earn my own money. And I'm done letting you steal it." Jennifer had clearly reached her limit. "That's it. I'm shutting down service. Everyone has 30 minutes to clear the venue." The tent erupted in chaos. Guests started talking all at once. Rachel collapsed into a chair, sobbing uncontrollably. Brad started yelling at Jennifer. Mom turned on me with a fury I'd never seen. "You selfish, ungrateful bitch," she screamed, loud enough that everyone in the tent heard. "We gave you everything, and this is how you repay us?" Aunt Margaret's voice cut through the noise. "Eleanor, that's enough. You stole from your daughter. Own it." Security guards appeared at the tent entrance. Jennifer had clearly called them. "Ladies and gentlemen," one guard announced, "you have 20 minutes to gather your belongings and exit the property. The venue is closing for the evening." The next 20 minutes were pandemonium. Guests grabbed their purses and jackets. The bridesmaids surrounded Rachel, who was still sobbing. Mom tried one more time. "Maya, please. We can fix this. Just give us another chance." "I gave you chances," I said quietly. "So many chances. I'm done." "Where are we supposed to go?" Rachel wailed. "The hotel room isn't until later." "That sounds like a you problem," I said. Simone linked her arm through mine. "Come on. Let's get out of here." As we walked toward the exit, I heard Rachel scream behind me, "I hate you. I hate you so much. You're dead to me." "Good," I said, not turning around. "The feeling is mutual." The next morning, I woke up to 63 text messages and 41 missed calls. "Mom, Maya, please, we can talk about this." "Dad, you embarrassed us in front of everyone." "Rachel, I hope you're happy you ruined my life." "Brad, you're going to pay for this." "Aunt Margaret, well done, dear." They had it coming. I blocked Mom, Dad, Rachel, and Brad. Then I called David, my lawyer. "I need to proceed with pressing charges for credit card fraud," I said. "Are you sure? This is your family." "I'm sure." Within 3 days, the police opened an investigation. My credit card company had already flagged the charges as fraudulent and refunded $42,320 to my account. My parents' credit was destroyed. The investigation revealed they maxed out 3 other cards they hidden from each other trying to fund the wedding. Rachel and Brad's honeymoon was cancelled. They couldn't get refunds on anything. Their perfect start ended with them moving into Brad's parents' basement, where they already lived. 6 weeks later, I got a letter. Not a text. An actual handwritten letter from Rachel. "Maya, I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I know what I did was terrible. But I want you to know that losing you has been the worst part of all this. Not the ruined wedding. Not the debt. Losing my sister. You were right about everything. I treated you like an ATM. I was cruel and selfish. I don't know how to fix this, but I want to try. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. Rachel. I read it 3 times. Then I put it in a drawer and went back to work on a new contract with a Fortune 500 company. My business was thriving. I'd just hired 3 more developers. Maybe one day I'd respond to Rachel's letter. Maybe I'd give her a chance to prove she'd changed. But not today. Not this month. Maybe not this year. I'd spent 32 years being their doormat, their joke, their emergency fund. Now I was finally just Maya, successful, strong, and completely done apologizing for having boundaries. Maya. Some bridges need to burn so you can finally move forward. And I was moving forward just fine. Have you ever had family treat your success like their personal bank account? How did you set boundaries? Share your story in the comments.